I'm here with Dan Van Kirk, who you guys remember from not too long ago.
Yeah.
He's on the pod. And we got Billy Deuce, who's also been on the pod. And I figured that we just bring you guys all together because, Dan, you're in town for a little bit.
Yep. Happy to be here.
And then Bill, I wanted you to meet Dan the last time we were doing shows because I just feel like as far as like impressions goes and everything.
Yeah, we kept hanging out. And he kept being like, you and my friend Bill have to hang out together. And I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah. The longer we went with hearing like him start doing impressions and all that sort of stuff, I was like, oh man, it's going to be good when you guys all connect. And unfortunately for you, Bill, like this is the first time you're meeting that we could have had a whole pre-podcast meeting, but I guess screwed up telling you the right time to come in.
Well, sometimes you you misremember what you said. So basically you just suggested that it would be a good idea yesterday.
Okay.
But in your head, that was, Bill, I'll see you at 10 o'clock. We're doing this. Please don't be late. So I text Dante at 10 this morning. I'm like, hey, what time's Daniel coming? He's like, he's here. Where are you? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you're on the podcast today. I'm like, oh, good to know. I'll head over.
Have you just reminded me, have you guys ever heard, this is a Tig Notaro prank / joke. It's one of the best things I've ever heard. And it works on people like us that always have like, this day I'm doing this, and then I have to be here on this day, and then, I can't forget, next weekend I'm in blank, whatever, right? Tig has a prank she plays on her friends where just randomly, out of nowhere, at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, she'll text one of her friends and go, well, everybody else is here, so we're just going to get a table. And then you put your phone down, and you do not respond.
Oh, that's cool.
For hours. Could you imagine the heat that would start running down your back if you got a text from like one of your friends that you also work with a lot or whatever that's like, well, everybody else is here, so we're just going to get a table?
That's funny,
dude.
dude.
I would have a mental breakdown.
That's such a move too, to like just put the phone down and not get. There was this one time that reminds me, I was on my honeymoon back when I was married. And I texted, we were in Mexico, and I texted, my mom said, are you guys having fun? And we didn't really have service there or whatever. So it was just kind of like, I had service in the hotel. So I said, yeah, we met these really cool guys from a group called Los Zetas. We're having a ton of fun. And then I thought, because Los Zetas, they were in the news quite a bit at that time for being
cutting heads off and stuff.
Well, I don't know. They were a pretty intense gang in Mexico.
Bad dudes.
And I left it in the hotel room, not thinking a thing. I thought she knew clearly I was kidding. Come back to the hotel.
And you got like Denzel Washington, Man on Fire, there to save you. Your mom has like hired him to come down and get her son.
Pretty much, man. I mean, my mom didn't. I don't know how much my mom freaked out, but my
bulletins were sent out to the family.
Yeah, both sides of the family, let's just say, were not happy with me because there was this guy working there that came up to us when we got back. We were sitting down like having a drink or something. Like, excuse me, your mother is on the phone? And I was like, what? How do you know? You need to come with me.
Wow.
And yeah, so that was a bummer, but that's what that reminds me
for sure.
of.
Yeah, because you just send someone into a panic.
Yeah.
I love that you did it by accident.
I did it by accident. I thought everyone knew I was kidding.
Yeah, of course you're joking.
Clearly, I'm not a good communicator, is what I'm learning. I forget things. I can have a conversation with one person and just think I told the whole world that, so everyone knew the deal.
I do that.
You know,
I'm right there with you.
So you made a joke in bad taste, maybe, and had you had your phone with you, your mother would have called you and you would have said, oh, I'm just kidding.
Right.
But you left it in the room. And so it escalated to like a law enforcement was involved at the place.
It escalated because her parents were like, what?
Okay.
And neither of us had our phones. So,
but the idea of someone coming up to you and going, there's a telephone call for you. That hasn't happened since we were in like grade school.
Mm-hmm.
Like your mom's on the phone, you need to go to the office.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like movies in the 80s where somebody's at a restaurant Remember
And
that?
you get
Like
a
people,
call.
yes.
Yeah.
Remember that used to be a thing? Like people would
Yes.
know you were at a restaurant, so they'd call the restaurant.
Mr. Stevens, there's a call for you.
This is what
Yeah.
people always say, well, what did we do before cell phones? I'm like, we made plans.
You lived your life.
Like you said, I'll see you on Tuesday at 4:00.
People
And then
used-
both of us just went about our lives for 3 to 5 days, operating the idea that is where we're going to be on Tuesday at 4.
And you didn't need 6 more confirmations. And
None.
a confirmation before.
None.
Yeah.
You didn't need a Google reminder.
Right.
The amount of time people would like wait around places and they'd be like, well, I guess I'll go home and see if they left a message on my machine.
Yeah. And even before like answering machines, like it became pretty cool to have an answering machine in like the 80s.
Oh, yes.
Otherwise, it was like ring, 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 you know?
Over and over.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. It just rang. It just would not stop ringing.
Yeah.
Eventually, the like operator would disconnect you.
Yeah. So
Really?
you piss
Yeah.
your neighbor off.
It just rang for.
Do you guys think
too
there are
long.
any operators anywhere still like doing the plug and play?
That's a really good question.
Hey, did I ever tell
No.
No, you don't think so. Okay. Did you ever say
tell
what?
the story about my dad and the payphone thing
No.
on the podcast? Because I feel like Daniel might like this.
Yeah, say it.
So speaking of like the 90s,
Sure.
you know, my dad was, worked for Chrysler his whole career. So corporate
In
guy
the Boston area?
all over the country. We moved a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just real quick before you keep going on this, Bill, is your mic situated okay?
I feel like it's okay. What do you think, Hannah?
Right now, it's really good.
I'm
maybe
trying.
if you
Okay,
just
try to
move
get
a
up on it.
scotch close.
Okay.
I just really want to hear like your vocal folds
Yeah.
in my ear.
You want me to do like a Will Arnett? Like, hey, the new Dodge Ram.
And I'll do Sam Elliott.
Will Arnett.
You've reached the operator.
Bateman and I went golfing the other day, and
That's very good.
Bateman drives it like a total psychopath. And I'm like, Bateman, I got to get home and do a Ram commercial.
Ram. So your dad
And,
worked for Chrysler?
Yeah, so like he would literally like didn't have a computer at his desk, like files and a typewriter, and like calling people smoking cigarettes, like, hey, you need 2 more Dodge Caravans, and so he'd be on the road a lot, and I probably had a beeper, but like the protocol was just you call the zone office and check in, and
Mhm.
you call the dealership, whatever. So like. This wasn't work related, but when we lived in Philadelphia, we used to drive up to Boston all the time to visit my grandparents.
Okay.
About a 6-7 hour drive all the time. And I think it was like the George Washington Bridge was the route we would go through New York. And so one time in like 94, whatever it was, we're driving, whole minivan full of my family. My dad's driving. And some dude, like, I don't really remember because I was a kid, but was like basically trying to run us off the road.
Stop.
And my dad wasn't sure what he had done, but this guy was losing it. Just this guy by himself. His car was all full of everything he owned, like clearly not a well person. And he was basically trying to like run us off the road. So my dad, like, had we not been in the car, probably would have given this guy what he was looking for.
Yeah.
But he had to be like, I'm a dad.
Yeah.
I'm a dad.
Yeah.
And so he memorizes the license plate.
And you have vivid memory of like looking out the back window or whatever and like
My
seeing
memories
this
are
angry car.
My memories are more fleeting, but my sisters and
Sure.
everybody remember it better.
Okay.
And it was bad. And my mother was all upset, and we were still far away from Boston. So it was probably an awkward ride the rest of the way through Connecticut. But so anyway, my dad, memorizes the license plate. And my dad's retired now, and I'm sure this particular Pennsylvania state trooper is too. So I think everybody's
Yeah,
good.
fine.
But
Statute of limitations.
Tell you know
Yeah.
we're about to get a good.
so
Yeah.
my dad's coworker, let's say, she works with him, and her husband is a Pennsylvania state trooper. Well, my dad goes, hey, so-and-so, this guy tried to kill me and my family. It's the greatest thing. And I feel like any mass state trooper would probably do this today. But the guy's just like, oh, yeah, hang on. Oh, it's Joe Schmo from Shitburg, New Jersey, And my dad's
I've been
like,
there.
Shitburg? Yeah.
Yeah. Gorgeous place.
It really is.
Weird name.
Shitburg. Great factories. So anyway, my dad gets the guy's info, thanks, trooper so-and-so, whatever. And for years, still has the phone number, I think in his wallet or the desk. My dad, when he's on the road, say 2-3 years later, whatever it was, if it occurred to him, he stops for a coffee or to take a pee or whatever.
I love where this is going.
He goes, oh, I think I'll call Joe Shitburg and remind him that I haven't forgotten. So the thing my dad would do is call.
From a payphone?
Yep. And the guy, I don't think the guy almost ever picked up, but there was an answering machine and he knew it was the guy. And he would go, "Hey, Joe, this is the guy you tried to kill on the George Washington Bridge in 92. I just wanted to let you know I haven't forgotten. And when I get around to it, I'm coming to get you." For years.
That's a good dad.
Years.
Oh my God, dude, that's something people would make a movie about.
And
Yes.
every once in a while, my dad will be like, because he
That's
still has the number somewhere. My dad will be like, "Yeah, I should call that guy." And I'm like, well, we're living in an age now where he could probably find you now.
No, let's
Yeah.
call him
Could-
Star 69.
Star 69.
Star 69. Oh, what
Remember
a
that?
tool that was.
Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
but I like how your dad does this mafia style, only doing it from a payphone.
Yeah.
Brilliant, man. Brilliant. One day he's going to put the payphone down, start walking away, and that payphone's going to ring again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he's going to walk back. It's going to be like dramatic music, and he's going to pick it up, and the guy's going to go, "We got to meet."
Yeah.
You know, and you and your dad.
The guy's finally like, "I can't live like this anymore.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just make it quick."
I think if the guy asked me to meet, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm not even saying for violent reasons. I'd be like, let's hash it out.
Let's work
Let's
it out.
talk about what was going on that day. I got some things I need to say. You obviously have things you need to say.
It was 92. The Phillies had just lost the World Series. I was living out of my car.
Yes.
You had a brand new Dodge Caravan,
Every time I because I've been driving around, I just had wonderful shows in Milwaukee at the Laughing Tap. Shout out how much I love Wisconsin and the people here. But
agreed.
I've recently, like, when someone rides up on you, like you're in the left lane going the appropriate 81 in a 70, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is a totally fair speed for the far left lane.
Well, I mean, that's a little past the speeding limit.
Right.
Like 79.
Exactly. So if you're
You're
going
fine.
81, you're definitely...
You're dancing with the devil right now.
Well, I know. The most I'll go is 83.
Okay.
But
Wow.
pace of traffic, if I'm 81, I'm definitely not going slow.
No,
I got a
you're-
right to be in the left lane.
Yeah, you're
right?
doing it.
Somebody
Yeah.
comes flying up on you. There used to be a me that would get like angry.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's a part of me that goes, hey, let me get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm.
I want you to go get that ticket for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you're
it's the scout.
You need to
He's
view
setting a
that
pick
person
for you.
as doing you a favor.
You're exactly right. And
And
I
you
have
need-
the exact same outlook.
And you need to say, like, and now I do a thing sometimes, like, let's say, let's just keep it simple. 2 lanes. I'm in the left lane. I'm going 81, passing a semi that is going a 79. So that's going to take you about anywhere from a half a mile to a mile pass on the long end of that differential of speed. If a guy comes flying up on me, or woman comes flying up on me at 87,
Sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, at like 87, Toons is the cat.
Hoots is the cat.
Yeah, comes flying up on me at like an 87. You know what I'll do?
What?
And I'll be like, hey, I'm obviously going faster than the semi.
Give me a second.
Give me a second. And I will hold up the finger and I'll go, just a sec, right? And normally they'll just stay on me and I'll just keep that finger up until I get over.
Yeah.
Sometimes they will back off, right? I was driving recently, and I wish I could remember where it was because I've been on the road so much, but I was driving recently. Oh, I know where I was. I was driving from Boston to Providence, Rhode Island to do shows in Providence. Wonderful shows though. Absolutely loved it. It was great. And it was like during March Madness and all this stuff. And
Wait, you're telling me you ran into an asshole driver between Boston,
Dude,
Massachusetts,
no.
and Providence, Rhode Island?
that's what's the crazy part. We're about to go the other way.
Oh shit.
Guy comes rolling up on me. I'm going 81, passing a semi, going 79. Gets way too up. I give the hold on a second, right? Guy does the wave, slows down. I then get over. I look at him. He gives me the high sign. I give him one back and I go, that's how this is supposed to work.
Wow.
I feel like
He was like,
that-
oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll give you a second. So I get around. He gets off my ass. I get around. Then he gives me a have a good day. I go right back to you. Everybody was so happy with that exchange.
2 members of society who are able to exist in society
It was
together.
so nice. It was like getting into a warm bath. I was like, yes, you obviously, for whatever reason, are driving way over the speed limit.
Mhm.
But you understood I was going to pass. So you gave me a second and then we waved at each other. And I'm like, maybe we will make it.
They're out there.
I think you're bringing up a really good point here is maybe the problem isn't the people. It's not the drivers. Maybe the problem is the lack of communication tools we have. We have blinkers that say go right, go left, but just say we need this as a little flashy light.
The amount of times I thought about a scrolling marquee
that's exactly
that you
what
could
I'm
put
thinking
in your rear windshield and type in like, definitely going to pass. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, I have thought about that a million times. You couldn't have like a radio because then it would get abused, but like, you know, like a limit of how many characters, but just like, I'm moving, give me 1 sec. Or slow down, there's a cop up in front of me.
Yes.
But like your point about the mentality. So I've told these guys a million times, but like living in Boston for 20 years, I'm not a natural Bostonian. It's not a thing that feels good for me.
Sure.
My family's used to it. They've got the thick skin. But I don't really get that angry usually. But when you see me creep into a level of anger, it's always on the road.
Sure.
And in Massachusetts, it was getting to a point because I was a musician and I would have these gigs in Boston a couple times a week, driving from Natick, Massachusetts to Boston. This is 14 miles. Would take me 2.5 hours.
That's
oh my God, dude.
Insane.
I mean, how could anyone not go insane? Meanwhile, the whole time you're like, I'm not going to make it on time. And you're dealing with a million other people that are miserable. And so for the longest time, I would get road rage, never to a violent place, but like it was possible, which is not good. And I don't like
no,
that.
I mean, I'll do some brake checking in my life.
I was telling him yesterday, I had to stop doing it in Milwaukee because people aren't used to it.
They'll hit you.
Like I was just brake checking people when I moved here. Like that's what you got to do in Boston. Just be like, hey, fuck face. If you want to play this game, I'll play it. And here they're like, holy shit.
You want to dance with the devil by the pale moonlight?
But your mentality is exactly the approach I'm taking is listen, this asshole does this all day, every day. So do I have to be the one to give him what he's looking for? Right. No, there's a million other assholes who are waiting for him. So I will move over and he will go hopefully get what he's looking for and I'll have nothing to do with it.
Well, sometimes too, like, we're lucky enough that like we don't really live these normal lives, like comedy and entertainment and stuff that we do. So sometimes what I'll also do is like when I find myself, if I'm on the road or even in LA, where I catch myself needing to go from Santa Monica to Hollywood at 5 p.m., I'll think to myself when somebody's like angry driving, I'm like, they got to do this every day. Of course they're mad. I just happened because of the way a meeting worked out, or I was lucky enough to book something. And when I wrapped, I'm just stuck in what is there every day.
You move it into gratitude.
And I go, these people are fighting with each other, every morning, every afternoon. I just happen to be in the wrong end of the pool for a little bit.
That's a very healthy way to think about it.
And I'm not, don't get me wrong. You know me well enough. I got enough Midwestern, like this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But like, I try because at the end of it, like, although, do you guys suffer from this of like, you really like seeing how down you can get your original expected time from GPS from one place to another?
Oh, that's like, yeah.
So I also have that problem too, where I was like,
I think that is borderline a sexual experience for Dante doing that.
just shaving time on GPS. On Google Maps.
He's the guy on your ass, by the way, in the fast lane.
Dante is the guy on your ass for sure.
He's not happy.
But if he lets me get over, I'm fine.
He will.
I don't only if I'm like late. I'm typically late. Life is so much better if you're not late.
Oh my
God. You
God.
can just observe so much more instead of as soon as you're late, it's tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to get there on time. You're riding people's ass. And then, but who's the person that when they drive up on you, they look at you?
Iowa.
Yeah.
Iowans look the most.
Really?
They will, as they pass you, they will They will hard turn you the whole way driving by.
That's because it's Iowa and they know everybody. And they're like, who the fuck is this guy?
I don't know that, Taurus.
Yeah.
They also know there's nobody in front because nothing says I disapprove of the way you're driving, like driving a speeding bullet in the opposite direction while you're looking a different way, you know?
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. I found, I was like, I remember I was doing shows in Iowa and I'd never noticed so many looky-loos every car that I passed or passed me. Just a hard look.
That's really interesting. I got to pay attention to that next time I'm in Iowa.
Some people, they'll evaluate the whole train as you go.
Mm-hmm. You know, Iowa's an interesting place. You know, like they've got like that. Do you guys know that's the birthplace of the chiropractor is Iowa?
No.
Yeah. A lot of people think chiropractor, it's like this Eastern kind of like meditative like practice.
Sure.
No, it was Chad who couldn't get into medical school in Iowa.
It was this dude, David Palmer. He had one of those dudes who thought his middle name was important, you know, and he was working at a magnetic healing facility.
I'm in already.
He was working at a magnetic healing facility where they just like, you know,
he was on the cusp of promising
wellness.
He was on the cusp of some promising alternative medicine.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude wasn't vaxxing before they even invented vaccines. You know,
I mean, he was probably way ahead of the whole crystal thing. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So this is 1875, and I don't know when they invented the vaccine.
Let's go with it.
Penicillin, something.
Yeah.
Around that time, I don't know. Anyway, so he is a magnetic healing facility where I don't know. They just hang you on a fridge and you're healed, I guess. And there was this janitor there, and the janitor had a crook in his back. And David Daniel Palmer, he was deaf. He was
literally the first DDP.
DDP. Yeah. DDP saw this deaf janitor with a crook in his back, and he said, "Hey, can I do an adjustment on you?"
And the guy said, "What?"
He didn't say anything. And
hey, can I do an adjustment on you?
He took the silence as a complicit.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm trying to mop. All right, sorry, go ahead.
And so he just did it, and you know,
then he made a whole.
And then it worked, I guess.
What you don't hear is that the janitor died immediately.
Yeah.
But the second adjustment was successful.
Yeah,
he heard the voice of God saying, "Welcome home, my son."
You know what I'm thinking what the magnet thing could have been? You said 1875, so we're getting out of the Civil War. Maybe they're pulling musket balls out of people with magnets.
Oh.
You know, like.
Can you?
I don't know what you guys do. Chiropractician.
Yeah.
Chiropractors. That it is the sushi of the medical field.
Oh, now how do you mean that now?
Like on the one end of it, you're going, what is this? What are we even doing here?
Yeah.
And then on the other end of it, you're like, this is excellent. So there's because there's like crazy gas station sushi, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like other sushi where you're like, this might be the best thing I've ever had.
Right.
And so then I think with like chiropractor, there's like places where you go where they're like, this is not only going to cure your acne and your limp, you also are going to be like a more
you told him about my acne
loving
and my
person. You were late. And then the other end is like almost sports medicine of like actual like relieving pressure in certain areas. But you can get this like gambit of just like, one end is like, you're going to be a better athlete. And the other end is like, we use unicorn blood. Right?
Yeah,
like it can be all over the place.
1 foot in the absurd and 1 foot in legitimate medicine.
And any sort of chiropractor can sort of choose which way they want to go with it.
Yeah, chiropractor. There was this one. Someone sent me this thing talking about how this was back when everyone was getting loony with COVID. They were talking about how nicotine would help prevent you from getting COVID, and sent me this 2-hour conversation. With a doctor who was saying it. And I said, first thing I said, let me guess, he's a chiropractor. And she's like, how'd you know? Have you heard of? I was like, I don't know. And no shade to chiropractors.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's some that are actually amazing.
Yes.
Like that's what you get to sort of like fall where you want to.
I have heard people tell stories like of absolute revelation as patients. I've always, I'm a cynical guy, so I'm always a little a little weird about things like that.
I've done a lot of chiropractic work, but I've had some where I'm like, this person's creeping me out.
Yeah.
And then I've had other ones where I'm like, oh, you work on that football player?
Did you ever have one of them stick a needle into one of the muscles in your back?
Are you saying different from acupuncture? Are you saying different from acupuncture?
This was I went to a physical therapy thing, and part of it was a little bit of chiropractic.
I think acupuncture is legitimate.
But I guess this was acupuncture, but it wasn't that she was putting a bunch of needles in. She was putting needles in one at a time until she hit the muscle that was causing my back issues.
Mm-hmm.
And it was immensely painful.
Mm-hmm.
She said it would be. And I was so hungover. You and I had gone out, and it was like a 9. You sent me to this person. You remember that? Remember I was laying on this floor?
You were debilitated.
Okay, so it was here in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
It was in Milwaukee. You were debilitated. You were just on the ground, not able
Couldn't
to
get
move.
up.
Wait, I've lost the thread. Debilitated from being hungover or debilitated from the procedure or combo?
Okay, so a back injury from a car accident, extremely hungover from
You got that guy's phone number?
drinking.
Let's call him right now.
Yeah. And so Charlie you got to go to this person. He booked the appointment.
You had been.
I was before, and they did the needle thing to me too.
Okay.
So so when I was hungover, by the way, like at this time I was like 50 pounds heavier.
Sure.
So I'm hungover, I'm sweating insane. You would think I'm having a heart attack. And I'm on her table. I'm drenched in sweat. Her table is drenched in sweat.
Yeah.
She stops and goes, "Are you okay?" And I go, "Yeah, I just sweat a lot." And she's like, "You're not having like a medical emergency, are you?" And I'm like, "No."
Constant.
So now that I'm in my head about it, my body's like, let's sweat twice as much. So she's trying to work with me. She's like slipping off of me.
Oh my gosh.
And she's got these needles and she does it. And I'm trying to be tough.
We're going into your back.
Into like a nerve.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like it was so painful. And she's like, I know, but after a while it'll feel better. Got up from the table to leave. Couldn't walk to the reception desk. And she's like, just wait. So I had to stay there for like half an hour. Horrible pain for like 2 hours. And then the next day, I was fine.
You purged it.
It worked.
Your body purged it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now it comes back, but like,
sure.
That was an example of a type of medicine I would have been skeptical of, because all things are possible only through the Lord. So how is science going to help me? But I was skeptical of it.
Great joke.
And
he's serious.
I was wrong.
So sure. Yeah, but that was a PT. That was a physical therapist.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And she was worried about me. She thought she needed to call it.
I was worried about you too. You were also sweating in here.
The sweating she was worried about.
When did you end up on this floor? Before or after the procedure?
Before. So I came in, we were going to shoot something. I laid down on the floor bitching about my back while he was working on his computer. And then something happened and I quite literally could not get up.
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, do you need me to call like an ambulance? And I'm like, I don't think so, but let's give this a little while.
Yeah.
And then
I got the dolly, just wheeled him downstairs.
Oh man, what a experience. But anyway, you know, like those types of medicines, there's some legitimate.
Yeah. I'm a believer in acupuncture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And look, I'm not, I feel like I got to backtrack on this chiropractor thing. Cause I know some chiropractors, but the last time I went to a chiropractor, I had a substitute chiropractor. You know, like
so they were doing the lesson plan from the day before.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing, man, but he was on one. Like he was like, "Oh yeah," like
he wheeled in a big rear projection TV on a cart into the office. He's like, "Okay, guys."
And he's got one of those visors with the fake blonde hair, spikies coming out of it, but it's not fake.
We're gonna watch Rudy. Stretch your back out.
That's so great.
No, this dude just violently cracked my neck in the most violent manner. Like I was like, to the point where I didn't want him to do the other side. He did it again. I was just so thankful I wasn't paralyzed at that point.
Ooh.
I was like, all right, that's it for me and the chiropractor. And also when I first went to the chiropractor, they were like, have you been in a car accident? And I was like, no. And that scared me into getting a plan. But then I talked to someone else who hadn't been in a car accident, and they said the chiropractor said the same thing to them. Yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe that's a sales thing.
I mean, it does work. They get you that hip alignment.
I'm a bit of a health nut, so I'm going to chase this coffee with a Diet Coke.
Good for you, dude.
Hey, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
As a public figure, you know, a lot of people know who you are.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're a very likable guy, but there's bound to be people that don't like you.
Oh yeah, there's people that don't like.
I mean,
me.
what's the line? If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping.
Right. And like
That's what's up.
and I would think with Charlie, because like Charlie doesn't really cause a lot of trouble. The hatred probably comes from a place of not jealousy, but just like they think they're funny, or I don't know, whatever it is. Let's say you don't like Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And Hannah, I'm not talking about you. Like, that's between us. But just kidding. But
It's between everybody.
do you ever go out into the world for, like, let's say you're going to like the urologist?
Yeah.
Do you ever worry that it's some guy that doesn't like you and he's going to be like, oh yeah, everything looks good here with the shaft? Like, just like, or just be like, let me just, I got to check the balls. Like, do you ever worry like someone's going to have access to your body and just be like, I didn't like that last video.
Dude, no, that I don't, doesn't concern me.
Or like someone leans over, they're like, now, do you want the local anesthetic or do you want to be put under? You're like, this is open heart surgery. Please put me under. You're like, oh, okay. Not a Bears fan though, huh?
The kind of weirder thing is more the opposite end, where like someone is a fan and they kind of
familiar.
They they violate. Like there was this one time I was in a waiting room waiting to get like a pretty standard test result that you get at your physical, but not really one that
you'd like a little discretion.
Yeah, you'd like people to pretend like they don't know you.
Yeah.
These guys waited for I got in maybe second. There were like 5 people there. They got all the other people out. And then they were like, all right, Charlie, let's get this picture done real quick. I was like, what picture? So and then we went over, we took a picture in front of the inspirational poster so people didn't know we were in the hospital because that's against the rules.
But they're all pointing to your mole. Or like the sore on your crotch.
There's no sore on my crotch anymore because they healed it. God bless them. There's
too familiar.
There's some goofy stuff like that, and I'm always happy to take a picture or whatever.
Of course,
it's just kind of there's some times where you just prefer we pretend no one knows who I am.
Love your loon, by the way. You guys ever go to the Loon Fest?
Birth break.
You know who made the loon?
The laptop. Hannah
did it.
You made this loon?
She's a wicked talented artist.
Have you been to the Loon Festival up in northern Wisconsin? Oh, I went when I was a kid. It was a great time. We had a.
Tell me about the Loon Fest.
I mean, honestly, it was just any other carnival, but with like loon decorations everywhere. And I remember my mom bought a loon CD that was then in heavy rotation in our house.
Was it just hours of that's not a good loon.
Excited. Always makes me think of the Tom
what is
Green.
The loon? It's like
no, that's way too sexy bird, dude.
I want to hear the loony loon.
That's way too sexy.
What's your best bird? Do you have a good bird? My best bird is a whippoorwill.
Let me hear it.
Wait, I'm not ready.
God, that's really great, man.
I know. It was a little rusty. It'll get better over time.
No, that's okay.
I love a good whippoorwill.
Do you know the bird? They're in New England. I love hearing them. And they sound like this. They sound like, they almost sound like a swing set that has a little rust or something. They're like, I wish I could look it up.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
They're around here.
Okay. I love that sound.
I've heard them up at the cabin.
Yeah. It reminds me of summers in Massachusetts.
Yeah. A cardinal. I like a good cardinal.
This is Hannah's art show I just went to. She made all those. And I bought the big buck hunter one.
Oh my God. Look at this hat.
Friggin' nice, huh?
Oh my God. You look you made all this yourself. You cut these squares.
Wicked talented.
Look at these egg rolls.
She got
in a month? Oh my God.
I bought the buck hunter one.
You bought what one?
I bought the buck hunter one.
Is that the one hanging at the studio?
She's gonna give it to me when the exhibit is over. Or I'm going to call her from a payphone and threaten her.
Trust me, just try it. Is that Malort? Yep. I zoomed in. I didn't know.
Playing a dangerous game, giving Daniel my phone.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no, I'm like, what's the next photo?
Oh, I know. That's the thing. Loon Fest was great. Loon's a big deal.
Where was Loon Fest again?
I want to say it was like an hour west of Rhinelander.
Was it the place with the giant loon?
I don't remember seeing a big giant loon, but that would be fitting, wouldn't it?
Where is a big giant loon? It's a small town. It's not New London. Big Loon, Wisconsin. Let me find it for you.
This is really great.
It's in Mercer.
Would love this.
It's in Mercer.
Okay.
Right there. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Mercer's got the giant loon. You guys see that? Pretty cool.
There's loons up at my Aunt and Uncle's lake in Rhinelander, and it's always a big treat when you see a loon.
Do you think loons look down their beaks at ducks?
What is the hierarchy?
Yeah,
do you think?
because everybody gets all hard
but I think
over
a
loons.
good mallard is above a Canadian goose.
He saw some ducks at the park the other day and just stopped it in his tracks. He's
A beautiful mallard.
There was a male and a female together.
Yeah.
So if I'm ranking Wisconsin birds from my limited knowledge,
okay, let's do it because I'm game for this.
now here I have one specific that I have to give an honorable mention. But if we were like literally just doing this with my family, it would be number one. But I can't force you guys into that. There is a great little resort outside of Montello, and that resort, White Lake Resort Bar Restaurant, they have peacocks. So in my family, we associate peacocks big time with Wisconsin. Obviously, I know that's not
wild
traditional.
Ones?
So that's giving. No, they live there.
Okay.
But they're outside, like roaming around, and they're not penned up or anything.
There's peacocks at the Milwaukee Zoo too.
Okay,
that's where I'm most familiar seeing peacocks.
So that's my honorable mention.
Okay,
but I think, would we agree? Bird. We'll start at the top. Bird number one is either loon or crane.
I like where you're going.
Where would you go?
I gotta say we gotta set. I would almost separate types of birds, but let's just, for the purposes of this conversation, this isn't a whole podcast about birds, so we'll just say top birds. I do think the loon. First of all, it's a state bird, I believe, in Minnesota, which is problematic. However, Minnesota can't just take the loon. We got a lot of loons, northern Wisconsin.
Yes.
Thing about a loon, it's like a duck in a tux. You know, it's like a well-dressed duck.
It is ready for the wedding.
And loons are fascinating. First of all, if you ever see the little baby loons just sit on the top of the mother loon when they're going, and then what they'll do is they'll put their head down, they'll find some fish, and they just go down there and get them. And they'll leave the little babies up there, which is dangerous.
Yeah,
because the eagles will come and scoop them up. So it's got to be quick. They get up there and then they feed them. So usually there's the mom who's sitting there. Look at that. God,
and the
eagle
cool? Swoops down and makes.
And I don't think for our purposes we can put eagle on the list, right?
No, I do want to talk about the eagle.
That
though.
bird belongs to America.
Usually, there's a male and a female loon. The male or the female. I think the female will hold the little babies, and then the male will go down and get some fish. So, but sometimes they do leave the little babies there because they got to figure it out eventually. But then if they see an eagle flying above them, they'll start going, "Oh!" But that's an owl. It's like, "Oh!" That's too turkey. I'm gonna get the loon eventually.
And the eagle, when it swoops down, a lot of people don't know this. The eagle doesn't make that badass sound they fly in movies.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
The eagles make a stupid sound. The sound an eagle makes in a movie is actually a hawk.
It's a hawk. Yeah.
I never knew that until recently. And I was disappointed to hear that.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, maybe Ben Franklin was right. We should have done the turkey.
You did want the turkey. Now, I bet some people would say, they would put number one on their Wisconsin bird list, blue heron.
I mean, that's pretty cool. It's cool to see one of them sitting in the reeds, the blue heron, and the crane. The cranes, they were
the whooping crane.
The whooping cranes, man, they were shot out of the sky, and they got a cool call too. The whooping cranes.
Yeah. Your whooping crane is good. Your blue heron, your loon, obviously your woodpecker, your cardinal, your whippoorwill. Whippoorwill's high up for me.
Oh, I got to send you this link. I saw this really nice video the other day. It's a little boy. He's been on TV and stuff. He's autistic and he has this incredible bird.
Loved it.
Yeah.
He's such a beautiful little story too. Yeah. All the kids think he's cool. Nice? And he is cool.
He can do all the calls.
Yeah, we can maybe throw him up. He's amazing.
Yeah, let's watch this. Can you look up little boy with the bird calls, Hannah?
He was on the news and the anchor was like, "Do you ever think you are a bird?" And the kid's like, "Yeah." But let me tell you a little bird fact while we're waiting.
Yeah.
The only thing I can contribute to this conversation, you guys probably already know this. You know the James Bond thing?
What about it?
So the creator of James Bond, Fleming, Ian Fleming.
Yeah.
He used to always be in, I think it was either the Bahamas or Bermuda. He had a house there and he'd write there. And he was a big bird guy, loved birds. And on his desk was a Audubon bird guy.
I remember this.
And the author of the book's name was James Bond. And when he was writing James Bond, he thought, oh, that's a really cool, masculine, British sounding name. So he named the secret agent James Bond, but James Bond is named after just some bird nerd.
That just makes me want to read all of James Bond's bird
I always
books.
thought that was so cool because like that's such a cool name.
That is a cool name.
But it's cool because of because of what it became, you know?
Yeah. I like that's how it should be, you know, because
cool.
like birding is cool.
Look at this kid.
This is a great horned owl sound.
Perfect. Awesome. Horned owl high on this.
This is a wild turkey. I did this in Jacket Jill one time.
Dude, I gotta bring this guy hunting.
I mean, I can do a better turkey than that.
No, I want to hear it after.
You yell that in the audience. I can do that better.
That's a good goose.
Yeah. Oh, here's the eagle.
This is a bald eagle.
Love it, dude.
Sounds like a seagull.
Mm-hmm. I thought the same thing.
This is a blue jay.
That is perfect.
That's really impressive.
That is perfect blue jay.
This is an American robin.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
He also knew how to ramp up in the right way.
Yeah, he started off.
Look at this cardinal.
This is a northern cardinal.
Wow.
I like that. That's a
Dude,
very
you
familiar.
hear these kids
Yes.
shushing the other kids.
Yes.
Like, I want to hear this next one.
This is the raven.
Wow, dude.
Wouldn't it be great to realize you had the coolest kid ever?
Yeah. I mean,
This is the mourning dove.
morning.
Mhm.
You could almost see fog. Like, you remember when you get up early in the summer?
This will sound like the eagle that we're used to, but it's right.
This is a red-tailed hawk.
Yeah.
Lies.
That's part of Big Eagle propaganda.
So this is a tufted titmouse.
Dude, I love a good tufted titmouse, man.
Yeah, you do.
A great-tailed grackle.
I can't tell you if he's right on that one or not.
That's
frankly.
the only one he couldn't
But
find
it
a
was
stuffed
very
animal
impressive.
for.
This is a Mississippi kite sound. Just to let you know, this is a high-pitched noise.
You did great, Paul.
Wow. What's his closer? Oh, that was his
it,
closer.
yeah.
What was that? I couldn't hear.
It was a high-pitched noise. That's what he gave the crowd a warning for.
Oh, okay.
How do you beat that?
That's almost like the epilepsy kind of warning. You know, if you're
Yes,
susceptible
yes.
to epileptic seizures.
Flashing lights.
I
Don't
feel
watch
bad.
that.
He was giving
Yeah, he
like
gave
a
a
caution.
warning for the
okay.
loud sound.
I feel bad for the kid that had to follow him. The teacher's like, okay, great. Okay, next up is Joey D'Angelo is going to be playing hot cross buns on his recorder.
Misses 3 notes, you know.
Yeah.
Starts off on the wrong one.
Bird Kid just comes back out to save him.
Yeah,
Like,
Bird
I'll
Kid's
do a
behind
couple
the
more.
the curtain just playing perfect recorder sounds.
Dude, you're nailing it. Well,
Nice.
I was a little off key. You were more on key, but
Thank you.
You know, did you guys? We all played the recorder, right?
I never did.
You never
Was not a
Come
part.
on.
Was not a part.
I don't
of
think
the
you're an
Rochelle
American.
Elementary School program.
I don't think you're an American.
I
I'm
never
questioning-
even saw a recorder
Really?
until like My youngest brother, I remember that was like a thing.
Oh, maybe it's, how old are you?
I'm 44.
Maybe it's, Bill, you played the recorder.
I did. I had my recorder privileges taken away from me in elementary school.
Why?
Because in music class, we had a very nasty teacher. She was not a nice lady. I won't say her name.
You have her phone number?
Hey, just want to call you. This is Billy Deuce from Valley Forge Elementary School. You were not very nice to me in music class, and coming to get you. No, she was just, I don't know, she didn't like me because she didn't like my older sister. And so I inherited that.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Was your older sister like you, a bit of a rabble rouser?
She could be a class clown. Danielle.
Okay.
Yeah. But she was a good student. So she got away with it. I was a class clown and went to a lot of summer school. But so I'm in the music class and she leaves for a second and we're all playing our recorders. And we used to all make fun of the way she played the piano.
Yeah.
Like she would play the piano like this. And we would all make fun of it when she wasn't around.
Yeah.
And so she leaves the room. I go up to the piano. I'm doing an impression of her playing the piano and like yelling at people. She comes back and sees it. And she sent me to the principal, and then I couldn't play recorder for the rest of the week or whatever.
Well, it had nothing to do with the recorder.
I think I had to like do sheet music worksheets or something.
Well, that's why you're such a good musician today. Maybe you should.
Maybe.
Thank her. I had a music teacher we were doing in class was singing, and he picked me out of the whole class. He said, "You stop singing," and I was like, "Okay." Let me just sit down. Yeah, got singled out on that one. That's what I thought I was a good singer until that day. I had so much confidence.
How
false
old were
confidence. You? 7.
That's
no 8.
Oh, then never mind.
Yeah,
that's where you need to know if you have pitch or not. I thought I was a good altar boy until I was told otherwise.
Really, you were? I got a. What was the day you found out you were a bad altar boy?
How does one?
What did you do?
I didn't, having no Catholic experience myself. What makes a good or a bad?
Well, you don't know this, but like during a Catholic mass, there's all these moves. You got to be like up, down.
Oh no, I'm familiar in that regard.
Okay.
I just didn't grow up in it. Like I've been to a lot of Catholic mass. I just never been in the other side of the curtain, the inner workings of like a good altar boy or any of that.
So like
I'll bust out a Jesus Lamb of God with you guys if you want me to.
we should probably end on a hymn, but
yeah, we will end on a hymn.
You take away the sins of the world.
mean, it's easy to just be. I mean, a Catholic mass is so riveting to watch that it's easy to overlook some of the amazing performances that are going on. But part of your job as an altar boy is timing.
Okay.
So
being where you're supposed to be,
and ringing the bells.
Okay.
Ringing the bell. That's the big one.
So when you're having the Eucharist,
you help with the Eucharist. Okay.
Yeah. And
It's like our main job.
the Father is saying, we believe in one.
Nailed it.
I'm supposed to go ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
At the right time.
Ba-ba-da-boo-ba-da-bee-ba. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. But I was doing like ba-ba-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-bee-ba. Ling-a-ling-a-bop. So I was fucking it up. I was like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. I'm getting like $20 to do this.
Well, you got paid?
Yeah.
Was it for a wedding?
No, it was for my
Just mass? Just Sunday
yeah,
mass?
it was like you got $20.
Are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah,
You got
I don't know.
$20?
You know what?
I don't know if we got paid. I just saw a basket full of money and I was like, some of that's got to be mine. No, we did. We
So
got like
take one, leave one situation.
20 or $40. I wasn't an altar boy for a long time.
No
because
kidding.
I don't
They're
care.
paying for these bells.
I don't-
Charlie's over here on a volunteer basis. You get what you get.
Yeah, man. I got yelled at for not ringing the bells at the right time, or really, not paying attention. Because I would just miss the
Drift.
bells completely.
Yeah.
I mean, church is one where you can't be spacing if you're the altar boy, and
Mhm.
I was a space case as a
I would
child.
have been the exact
I was
same way.
up in the clouds.
Do you ever forget in the moment, like done it a million times, but when you're at mass for a split second, you're like, wait, you forget which way. And then when you go to get the Ritz, you do left over right, but it's right over left to receive.
That's not something I forget, and I think you just haven't been to church in a long enough time.
What is Friday?
Friday's Good Friday.
Pretty
Freaky Friday. Oh, Good Friday.
Freaky Friday.
And we're in Wacky Wednesday.
Wednesday's nothing. It's Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, Easter Sunday.
Something I've always wondered.
Yeah.
Is Good Friday in Wisconsin the fish fry to end all fish fries?
It is a big fish fry right there.
But do you find that it's even larger in scale than the magnitude it takes up the rest of the year?
Sure.
Or they are normal?
I mean, because on Good Friday, yeah, I think that's kind of the last hurrah.
Right.
For now, look, Fish Fry Friday, that's going to go throughout the year.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. That's all like that. Like the rest of the year is by choice, but this one is obligation.
Yeah,
on top of revelry and choice.
Just all throughout Lent, the Friday fish fry is through the roof. But Good Friday is kind of like
we do it.
Where the fuck do the eggs come from?
I don't know where the eggs came from on Easter. I have no idea. Pagans. Yeah, the pagans. The pagans.
Where we got the Christmas tree.
The amount of recycled things that mysteriously are in present religions.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why they landed on the 25th.
It's like
because they wanted winter solstice.
Yep.
The original Star Wars, 1977.
Uh-huh.
It's like that. It's like that was the first religion, and then they did, the first sequel, which was basically a remake of the first movie.
Yeah.
That's how I look at that. It's like,
well,
you got these ideas from somewhere.
It's funny, actually, the first Star Wars, and we do have an egg explanation here, but the first Star Wars was based off the Cosmic Cycle, Joseph Campbell's Hero with 1,000 Faces, which was based off of all of Western mythology, kind of.
The hero's journey.
With hero's journey, and there's a lot that's borrowed from ancient religions.
Mm-hmm. Oh, big time.
Yeah. Well, like if you go to, I think it's the Parthenon in Rome.
Parthenon.
Yeah. It's an old pagan temple.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, they just retrofitted it for the church.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I've never been to Italy.
That's the whole like center with the stars and all the.
That's pretty cool.
I could be a pagan.
Yeah,
in some ways we all are.
A Celt. Are you Are you Irish, Daniel? What's your
Scottish and Dutch, but there's some Irish in there too.
Scottish. Who can read? Who's got good eyes?
I can. Easter eggs come from a combination of pagan traditions, Christian symbolism, and modern confectionery. Historically, eggs were associated with spring festivals and fertility in pagan cultures and were later adopted by early Christians to symbolize Jesus' resurrection.
Oh.
Today, Easter eggs can be real, hard-boiled, chicken eggs decorated and hidden, or chocolate eggs, which were first introduced in the 19th century. The use of eggs as favors or treats at Easter originated when they were prohibited during Lent. A common practice in England in the medieval period was for children to go door to door begging for eggs on the Saturday before Lent began. People handed out eggs as special treats for children prior to their fast.
They couldn't eat eggs during Lent?
I mean, first of all, like that was a pretty good cold read.
Yeah. Congrats, dude. I appreciate that. That was really nice.
That was like move over Will Arnett.
I'll take it. So it goes back to like, well, you can't have eggs, but you can have them once Easter's here.
Right.
So, and we hid them.
Mm-hmm.
And
I wonder if they were hidden so the kids wouldn't eat them, and then
they find them.
You can go find the eggs.
Yeah. And I bet you that there's some Christians out there that get all huffy about the egg thing, just like they get huffy about Halloween. Like, this is a pagan
and
thing.
Huffy about Santa.
Yeah.
But
do they get huffy about Santa?
Some people, but then
Saint Nick.
But then some come all the way back around and go, well, actually,
Catholics believe in the Saint Nick situation. I don't know if Christians have or non-Catholic Christians are into the saints things.
It's very much a Catholic thing.
It's just a Catholic thing.
Yeah,
it's like the Marvel superheroes. Everyone's got a superpower kind of vibe.
Well, who was when you guys got confirmed? Who was your saint? What was your saint name?
Luke, I think.
Luke?
Paul. I did Paul because I love the Beatles and my middle name is John. So I got John and Paul. They didn't want to let me do Ringo. Ringo wasn't a saint.
This logic so much. I'm not being facetious.
Yeah, that was and you know what's funny?
This is such like a kid because you're a kid.
Well, my mother goes, that's nice because your grandfather's name is Paul and you have two uncles named Paul. And I said, yeah.
Yeah, I'm also going to hold
Paul
this.
McCartney too.
This is how I'm going to play this bass too. And those things are all related. Why'd you go with Luke?
Because I thought it was a cool name.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I just thought I think my dad had this cousin once and they threw him off the dock. Like it was his 16th birthday and they grabbed him and they like threw him off the shallow dock. This is some Fond du Lac stuff, but it's like 2 feet of water, and the dock is super high because the water can come in, go out.
Yeah.
So they threw him in. Just wasn't the safest thing to do in the world. He was fine. Yeah, nothing happened, but he was so pissed because he was like, "You guys got my lighter all wet," and I was like, "This guy's got a lighter? That's so cool." And from that day forward, he had long hair and he had a lighter, and I thought Luke was a pretty cool name.
Yeah.
So that went all the way.
To you, that was his lightsaber.
Yeah. No, it was like one of those flick lighters. Yeah. Like one of those Zippos.
Oh, I just love.
This guy smokes cigarettes.
We don't pick our core memories.
We don't. Yeah. No, we don't pick our core memories. I think one of my first memories of my Grandpa Bob and my Grandma Sue was them sitting on the dock again. And my Grandma Sue slapped my Grandpa Bob on the knee and said, "Oh, Bob, I should divorce you right now." I was like, they're getting divorced.
Oh, my gosh.
But they were just, kidding.
Of course.
Because, of course, my grandpa said something,
right.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's just a weird core memory.
Yeah.
That's terrifying for, like, when I'm hanging around, like, my nieces and nephews.
You never know.
You never know, like... I don't watch myself. Every now and again, I drop an F-bomb or something. I'm like, oh shit, are there kids around here? And then sorry. But you never know. That could be the thing that they remember.
Yeah. Oh God, I remember some really weird shit.
What's a weird core memory for you, Bill?
My dad, great dad. I love my father, but not the greatest guy with like understanding psychology with kids.
Sure.
Just would straight up like, kind of mess with you psychologically.
Yeah.
So one of my great memories was when I was a little boy, and a lot of little boys have this. I didn't realize, I thought I was, but apparently it's a thing. Around like 4 to 8 years old, maybe a little older. I had issues with pooping.
Okay.
I would hold my poops in.
Okay.
Wow. And because I was having too much fun outside or whatever, and I would just be like, I'll deal with it later. Then I would get afraid to poop.
Why?
Safe place.
Hannah, this isn't funny.
Safe place, Hannah. Safe
Excuse
place.
me.
Yeah, we're not here to laugh.
Safe place, Hannah.
Excuse me.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. I had this problem with pooping. And anyway, what would happen was like, I would get all in my head and worried about it. My mom would be very motherly and kind about it.
Sure.
And be like, we'll sit you in a warm bath and you can poop in the tub.
Oh, wow. How old were you?
Whoa.
There?
I mean, I was definitely out of college.
I don't know.
No, I was like 8.
Okay.
And
pooping in a tub?
sometimes she was like, if that's what it takes, kind of like a water birth.
Yeah.
And so my dad was less.
Just, so far on this story, there's no reason why this core memory should be random. This is a very hardcore memory.
You're right. Okay. Well, it's the thing my dad said.
Okay. I love
so
it.
my dad's kind of fed up with it. And my dad's not sympathetic about my poop issues. And I'm having a night,
You haven't pooped in like a day?
Oh, several days.
How many days are we talking without a bowel movement?
I don't know. 4 to 6 days.
I don't I don't want to get gross in people's ears, but are you guys pretty regular?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Me too. The idea of going, especially as a child.
And the size
your body
of
your metabolism, your body is processing and growing at such a rate.
The size of these things.
You need your poops.
Should have been studied by NASA. But
yeah, you're all packed up.
Oh, yeah. And so what would happen was it was a painful process.
No
You're basically
shit.
giving
Literally.
birth to a child through your butthole. And so I'd get really freaked out about that. So one night my dad goes,
Oh, because it would get worse, and then you'd get scared about it being
Exactly.
worse, and then you'd let it keep getting worse.
it would just literally build on itself.
Of course.
So now, but let's give your dad some grace. How long was he dealing with this shy pooping Bill?
Because if you're 8?
My childhood.
The whole childhood.
Yeah.
So if
There
you're
you
like
go.
8, we're talking like 3 or 4 years of you doing this shit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And
now
I would.
you're in a
Not
bathtub
doing this shit.
pressing on your lower abdomen.
I think I only did one water birth. I don't think I did it a lot. I think my mom, it was on the table. I just was like, let me just keep
Okay.
being miserable. And so my dad one night was like, this is ridiculous. Get up. You're either gonna go sit on that toilet or we're gonna take you to the hospital and they're gonna cut it out of you. And I was like, so I think I pooped that night. But
He was
the
just trying to
next
scare
time,
the shit
the
out of you.
next
dude.
time,
Why don't
this
they
is
just give you a diuretic?
this is the memory. You're right. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But this is the
Maybe you
memory
don't have a
that
choice.
For the longest time, I thought, okay, so my dad, I'm laying in my bed.
Yeah.
My dad's pissed. He opens the door to my room, blasts into my room like Kramer, by the way, which he did until I was like 18.
So he's
and I was
yelling
like,
the N-word.
you're going to catch me masturbating very soon if you keep doing this. But anyway, blasts into my room and he's got an afro pick in his hand, a pink afro pick. You know what those are, like a wide comb.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Because my sisters, this is the 90s at the time, had perms and afro picks were
Yeah,
like
tease
part
it
of
out.
that. And so this pink and purple afro pick, and he comes into my room and he's holding it up. And I'm like, what is that? And he goes, this is an enema. And he explains to me that this is going to go up your butt and make you poop. For years, I would see that thing in the drawer.
Oh my gosh.
Until I'm like 14, I thought an afro pick was a thing that went up your ass to make you poop. My dad.
Why is my sister wearing that in her hair?
My dad probably shut the door, went to bed, never thought he did of it again.
Right.
Like that was how
he was
my
just
dad-
trying to scare you straight.
Yes. He would also say things like, so anyway.
Did you ever tell him?
I told him recently. He thought it was really funny. And the other thing is he would kind of like be sarcastic to a child who doesn't get sarcasm.
Right.
So I distinctly remember one time my dad's trying to put me to bed. He's trying to close the door. And I go, hey, Dad, can you sleep with socks on? And he said something like, no, you'll catch a cold and get really sick, and then shut the door. For years, I'm like, I can't sleep with my socks on. I'll get sick. Never, like, he never thought about this.
No.
You know, like dads are so funny in that way. Like everybody's really careful about the child's development and psychology. And your dad will just tell you a bold-faced lie, shut the door, and go to bed.
And just leave you with it.
So there I am laying there with a fear for afro picks, taking my socks off. Like,
That's wild.
It just goes back to that core memory thing that you just can't choose your core memories. They
Nope.
sort of choose you. You got
Yeah.
any weird ones, Daniel?
I mean, my Uncle Ken once, I think he just offhanded thought it'd be funny, was like, well, you know, Marilyn Monroe's my cousin. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah. My Uncle Ken's name is Ken Doherty. And he was like, her name was Norma Ray Doherty, or Norma Jean Doherty. And she changed her name when she moved out to Hollywood. And that's our cousin. That's my cousin. And then it was probably 15 years before I found out he just made that up as like a little prank on me.
that is funny.
That's
This thing is sticking
great.
with you.
And I was like, Marilyn Monroe's our cousin. Also, I remember being a little kid watching Pollyanna and Parent Trap, and my family would just say like, oh, that's your Uncle Bob's first girlfriend, Haley Mills.
really?
So then it wasn't until like well after Saved by the Bell that I'm like, my uncle's first girlfriend.
Wait, which girl was
Haley
she on
Mills.
Saved by the Bell?
Miss Bliss, the first season of Saved by the Bell.
the British teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miss Bliss. Was that her actual name, or did they just call her that?
Wait,
No, that
time
was
out.
her name.
What?
You guys are supposed to freeze. I'm going to talk to the camera.
Oh,
Time out.
Kelly's.
Kelly's going to the dance with Slater?
I don't think so.
No way.
Yeah, it was Miss. I think that before it was called Saved by the Bell, I think it was like Miss Bliss,
Yes, you're absolutely right.
something Miss Bliss. So
Yep.
like,
The pilot was
yeah, it was like
a
Mornings
totally
with Miss
different
Bliss
concept.
or something like that.
no
Mhm.
kidding.
Yeah, and then she
Wow.
rolled out, and Belding rolled in, and the rest is history.
Mhm.
Wow, they just changed complete direction of the show.
Mm-hmm.
It was at first focused on this teacher.
And what
Yes.
a banger of a theme song, too.
Oh, that's a great
When
theme
I
song.
wake up in the morning and the bell gets on the warning, I don't think I'll ever make it on time. By the time I get my books and I give myself a look, I'm in a corner just in time to see the bus fly by. It's all right, because I'm saved by the bell. You don't, Hannah, nothing?
Which I just
Hannah's
realized
not
just now as you're saying that is sort
an
of a
old man.
ripoff of the opening song to Caddyshack, Kenny Loggins.
I'm all right. You're right. It's got that twang.
Yeah.
You're right.
Maybe it's
and
the
that same
guy.
like chord progression in the
Did you know that the same singer, Charlie and I recently discovered this when we were singing TV themes. The same singer who did Full House did
Mhm.
Family Matters
Mhm.
and Step
What
by
would
Step.
you do, baby,
Which one is that?
without us? Sha-la-la-la.
Are you doing
What
Kenny
show is
Loggins?
that?
Growing Pains?
Growing Pains.
Show me that smile.
Oh, that's yeah.
again,
No,
that
so
smile.
I was singing Family Ties.
Family Ties.
I was singing Family Ties.
My
And
God.
it ended with the sha-la-la-la.
Family Ties was one show I didn't ever watch.
I didn't
which is
watch
so
it
weird.
either. But Full House, Family Matters, and Step by Step.
Yeah.
Same guy.
Well,
Yes.
well, how did it go, Bill?
Well, there's Family Matter, or there's
Give us a teaser on it.
a Full House is whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, the evening TV. He's like, and then Family Matters. It's like it's a rare condition in this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. Love and tradition of the grand design. Some people say, and then
It's
step by
even
step,
harder to find.
step by step, day by
That was
day
great.
by day.
That guy was just making so much bank.
Crushing.
Also, the same guy who decided the cinematographer for all the opening trailers while that song was playing. Same dude, like every single one.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Did you know, tying it back to Wisconsin, that the Step by Step family, that's supposed to be Wisconsin?
Yeah, I think isn't it? It's Port Washington.
They
I
don't
believe.
acknowledge it a lot, but they'll go to Packers games. They'll go to UW. Cody, the son, will wear Packers stuff.
Yeah, I forgot that, man.
And there's a couple of other shows that,
well, that
like-
70s show.
That's the biggest one, right?
right,
Yeah.
that
Well,
one.
Laverne and Shirley.
And Happy Days.
Happy Days.
Yeah, it's really interesting how Wisconsin kind of became the home. I mean, especially in the 50s with Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, that's like, and then Fonzie's got this kind of New York accent. None of it really made any sense.
And some of the interesting celebrities that have come out of Wisconsin, you always know where like a Boston celebrity's from or LA or whatever. But like some interesting people, like
Mark Ruffalo.
is he from Wisconsin?
Yeah. Milwaukee.
I think he's from Kenosha. actually.
Kurtwood Smith.
Kenosha? Okay.
Yeah. Kurtwood Smith.
Kurtwood Smith. Willem Dafoe is Appleton.
Yeah.
And
Ethan Hunt.
wasn't Orson Welles from Wisconsin?
Yeah.
He was, right? And the magician.
Harry Houdini,
Houdini.
Appleton.
It's a lot of interesting people from Wisconsin.
Also, Liberace is from West Dallas.
Really?
I can't believe Liberace was gay. Women loved him.
Do you know that I have a signed picture at my apartment that says to Fair, which is my grandmother, from Liberace. And it's a signed Liberace photo.
Where did she meet him?
So her neighbor growing up was Liberace's piano teacher, or Liberace was her piano teacher.
Okay.
And so sort of a friend of a friend got a little signed photo. So, and she was like a young gal at the time,
Yeah.
So what a cool thing though.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I got it right there. It's pretty nice.
They're like, how are your daughter's piano lessons going with Liberace? She's struggling with her scales, but her outfits are fabulous.
Fantastic.
Any core memories?
Just the Norma Jean.
Oh, that I want to tell you, you had an Uncle Ken.
Yeah.
I got an Uncle Kenny who's like,
Oh yeah, we were just talking about the whole. I forgot that was a core memory. The Marilyn Monroe. I got so lost
it
in
wasn't
that
one
story.
for you as much, but
I
it
gotta tell
definitely
you,
was for me.
on the Uncle Kenny thing, I got an Uncle Kenny real quick. So he's the single uncle. He's like where I am,
Yeah,
like bachelor. Always the fun uncle.
Yeah,
And
the
my-
Liberace of the family.
Yeah, my parents would make really funny stories about him that he would play along with. So when we were kids, my parents, my grandparents, they all told us that Uncle Kenny, probably in his 40s at the time,
Yeah.
believes in Santa. And that my grandparents go to his house in New Hampshire every year and put gifts under his tree so that he'll keep believing in Santa. I believed that my adult uncle believed in Santa and that I had to be careful about it
That's adorable.
until my early 20s at Christmas parties. And finally, my parents were like, "Are you fucking serious?" To me and my sisters, like, you thought that you're 20 something years old. Right? You thought that your uncle.
When did
were
you
like,
learn
yeah,
that?
sorry, a-holes, you raised a considerate
I
person
know,
that's
right?
willing to help
Yeah.
keep the magic alive for
Why don't
other
you
people's happiness.
Shove an afro pick up my ass while you're at it.
Wait, why didn't? How old were you? Because you had to be old enough to not believe in Santa, so that for them to tell you that.
Everybody like 11?
Well, through our childhood, he would play along. He would be the one to take us outside to look at the sky and point to like a radio tower and stuff. So we knew he believed. But then as we aged out of it, we were told,
Keep it going.
don't
for
tell
him.
Uncle Kenny that.
So you guys would keep going out with Uncle Kenny in
All
the
of
car.
my sisters, all my cousins, we all thought that it was our responsibility to not ruin this for Uncle Kenny.
When did your sisters know the gig was up?
Later than I did. They're a little bit more,
Sweet?
Yeah.
Really?
It's a better word than I was going to say.
Wow.
No, they're it's just an innocent thing, but like, come on, you believe your uncle believes in Santa Claus until he's 40 something.
I mean, I'd go along with it.
I got a story here for you guys. I'll read you the story. Woman allegedly called AAA during police standoff to repair tire pop by road spikes. This is in Utah. A woman reportedly called AAA during police standoff to help patch a flat tire that she had just received from road spikes set up by authorities. Anime Cabalsa Martinez, 45. Woman allegedly led police on a chase on Wednesday after police caught her driving down an interstate at 120 miles per hour at around 5:20 p.m. That's a bold speed for rush hour. I reached a speed of 130 in an attempt to catch the vehicle, one trooper wrote in an affidavit obtained by local outlet KSL. I don't know if I believe that 130. I think that cop's just saying, yeah, I got it up to 130.
Fastest you've ever gone in a car.
While I'm driving,
either one.
I think my buddy once got it up to like, he got his dad's Monte Carlo up to I want to say like 105, 110.
That's a good clip.
That's a real good clip. That's like a stupid thing, very stupid thing to be doing.
Very. I think the fastest I ever went's maybe 100 in a Dodge Charger Daytona with a Hemi.
Yeah,
my friend was pissed.
Too.
Wait, what?
I was driving and he was like, I accelerated. I was like, check this out. And he's like, and he was not happy with me.
It was his car?
It was my dad's, but my friend was like, that's not a good idea.
Oh, the Charger. Yeah, I'm not a big speed demon myself. What was the fastest you ever?
It's got to be like the same, like 105 in high school, just being an idiot.
Yeah.
Like my buddy's mom's Audi.
Can you read that woman's first name one more time? I know she had a
anime.
Anime.
Annamae.
Okay. I thought you said like, I was picturing like anime, like art.
So was I.
Yeah, anime. Okay. And so she called AAA to, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So the trooper said that he was driving at 95 miles per hour when he caught up with the suspect's vehicle, but once he turned his lights and sirens on, she sped up to 120 miles per hour. Police set up road spikes at two separate areas along the interstate to slow the driver down and succeeded in puncturing her tires on their second attempt, per the affidavit. The vehicle's left front tire lost air and the vehicle pulled to the right side of the road and she came to a stop. The affidavit reportedly said the driver, sole occupant of the vehicle, failed to obey any commands and exit the vehicle or roll down the window. I tried multiple times to get Martinez to roll down the window and exit the vehicle while yelling as loud as I could. A PA speaker was also used to try to get Martinez to obey the commands. When she refused, police said about 40 minutes into the standoff, Martinez called AAA to get her tire fixed. After AAA realized what was going on, they transferred the call to police, who transferred the call to one of the troopers at the standoff, who was able to talk Martinez out of the car.
Wow.
Martinez was arrested and charged with reckless driving, failing to stop for police. I think there's some mental illness with that one.
Oh, yeah.
Do you ever watch old episodes of Cops and how cops used to be able to behave and now? Like, there's some great episodes of like the Philly Police Department, straight up violating people's rights, by the way. But in that situation, cops used to just be like, there'd be no talking. Some of them wouldn't even have their guns out. They'd just open the door and rip that person out.
Yeah.
And you know, like have a cigarette. Like cops used to be able to I'm not saying it's a good thing. Like it's good that there's some more awareness, but there was a time when the police could police in a situation where it's like pretty clear what they are going to need.
Well, I think in that scenario too, I think they also just had a lot less fear that the person had a gun in the car.
True.
You know, like,
but you remember like some of those old Cops episodes. Nowadays, you'll see cops, they're understandably like, they're really on edge and worried about getting shot. And then you'll watch these old episodes from like Philly or wherever, and they're just like salt to the earth, like Sergeant, like walks up to a car that absolutely could have a bad guy. He's just got a different, like.
That's because he's got a camera on him, dude.
Well, this is back in the day.
Topped up.
Before that.
No. What? How do you think you're watching Cops?
Oh, you mean like the film? Oh yeah, they're totally showing off too. Right.
Yeah, they're peacocking.
Right.
And I was just in Florida, and everywhere I looked, I was like, "This is where they shot cops. This is where they shot cops."
Do you think the cop pretended to be a AAA person?
That's where I thought it was going.
Like, hey, you want to get out and show me which tire we're talking about here?
Oh, that would
Probably
be hilarious.
I mean, they said, right, the trooper or whatever talked her out of the car.
Well, he got on the phone with AAA.
Yes.
You got some that this is the Cripescast. You got anything that makes you say cripes these days? What's grinding your gears?
Well, cripes in my life.
Yeah, just anything. You know.
I'm switching airlines.
Why?
Southwest is done.
Oh, seriously, dude.
They're over.
I mean, no more free bags checked.
Right.
That's that, and the ability to just cancel your flight at any time.
Yeah, they're changing the fare so that now they're essentially. Here's what's really happening. The private equity group that bought into Southwest is known for just flipping.
Okay.
So the reason they're like taking everything away that made Southwest unique and is really offending like their core customer base is because they're just going to sell it.
So it's just
if I was going to sell Southwest to you like 2 years ago and you're Delta, you're like, wait, you want me to buy this company and then I'm going to get rid of open seating and I'm going to get rid of free bags and everybody's going to hate me and my stop park. I'm going to tank in the public opinion. So what they're doing now is like, well, we'll do it all. And then when we go to sell, we already went through all the pain equity. So you're just buying this.
Wow.
Ruin the brand before you sell it.
Yeah. But they're technically not ruining it because their stock is going to go up because of all the money they're going to make projected in baggage fees and seat change costs.
Did they get rid of that seating arrangement, the lining up thing? That
happens. Tickets go on sale for no longer open seating in June. Flights starting in January. So January 2026, you will not get on a flight anymore that is open seating. And as of May 28th, you will not have to check bags.
I hate Southwest, and I hate it because of that system.
Really? See, I've flown them over 50 times a year for like the last 6 years. And when you're at that, you're pretty much always in an exit row because of like when you board.
Oh, okay.
So it never really affected
You're
me
an A-list guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Bill, if you were A-list, you might like it more because you could then pick any seat.
I think my circumstance, like, I don't care if I'm, like in a exit row or whatever, but I gotta be on the aisle.
Sure.
As a big guy, because I can take some of that real estate and then move it over.
Yeah.
When the cart comes, kind of do like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have a Pepsi.
I've been there.
And it's just nice to feel a human touch, like someone rubs up against me. I'm just like,
a forearm on your hawk makes you feel good.
People.
So I've just been, it's been a bummer for me. It's annoying. I've liked Southwest for a long time, but I'm now going to try American.
Really?
And I'm sure I'll have gripes about that too. But if they're all going to be the same, I might as well have the option to get upgraded to first class every time I fly, and I might as well have a lounge that I can go eat and hang out in for free. Like if you're just going to all be the same anyway. Plus, American flies into Madison and Southwest doesn't. So
okay. See, I've always been like a little bit promiscuous in my airline choices. I jump around.
You should pick. You're touring. Yeah. You're touring so much,
but
trust me. Pick. In 3 years, you'll go, why did I not just pick?
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because all the ease that your life will be almost every single time you get on a flight.
Man, I don't know. I like playing the field too much. I like the options. Sometimes there's not a good option.
Bring back Midwest Express.
Midwest Express.
Midwest Express was the best airline. Did
ever.
You flew
no,
that?
I have
Dude,
no idea what that even is.
Oh my gosh. So first flight, I flew first time, 18 years old, maybe. Something like that.
Where are you going, Midwest Express?
I think it was New York.
Really?
Midwest Express, there was a huge airline, and they would give you chocolate chip cookies, hot, warm, every single time. Like there's one hotel you check
into. Went under.
Probably
every seat. Daniel was first class. Every seat was a leather wide seat. Everybody was first class.
How does this fail? Who bought? They bought either they folded or somebody bought them.
They died out during the recession.
Was it the recession?
That's what killed them, I think.
Say that, Hannah?
2010. Never even heard of them.
What's funny is actually there were investors and people trying to put the airline back together and get it off the ground again, literally. And then the pandemic hit. And so it got fucked up again. Yeah. They wanted to try to bring it back. I don't think it would be as good because you just can't do that anymore. But flight attendants were always from Milwaukee or somewhere in the Midwest. So they were always nice.
Sure.
I don't want to sound
Southwest
old
has a
fashioned,
good run
but they
on
tended to hire attractive
Wow.
people.
I can't believe you just said that.
Not that that matters, but it's nice with the chocolate chip cookie and the big seat. Why not have a, you know? And it was just always awesome. It was Boston to Milwaukee, the easiest flight, reasonable.
Never even heard of Midwest Express.
Really? Yeah, we had the Midwest Express Center here in Milwaukee for a while.
Really?
Yeah, pretty fascinating.
So after you lost them, you thought, well, I'll just play the field the rest of my life?
Yeah, I've never been a guy. I used to be a Southwest guy because they would allow you to change flights, and my lack of commitment.
They still do. That's that's going away now.
See, that was the only reason
I would buy the cheapest flight of the day, and then I would just switch to whatever one I needed.
Like 10 minutes before your flight, you can
literally
switch.
can.
So what I'm realizing about myself between both not picking an airline and preferring Southwest only before COVID, when like during COVID, every airline allowed you to switch kind of fee free. I'm realizing that, and also putting wheels on everything in my garage in case I want to move it. Maybe I have commitment issues. I think that's kind of.
I'm telling you, Charlie, as your friend.
Yeah.
If you pick,
okay,
you will so quickly get to the level where you can do all the same day changes. So like on American, because I've just had to dig into this, and this is what Southwest is going to. If you buy a basic fare, you cannot do a change.
Okay.
But you will still get like free upgrades 3 days in advance for like first class or like comfort. Plus you can check up to like 3 bags free. If
you pick the bougie one?
I'm saying just once you get status. Like,
okay.
But if you go up a level, so I just look, it was like an $80 flight for basic. And it was $150 for the next tier up. Yeah. For $60 more, then you do have the ability to do a same day change and cancellation.
See, I'm such
you still have that ability.
What I need to do is plan ahead, because I'm such a last minute guy that I need like the right time. And
I know that's the thing too. I guess I'm just gonna have to go back to. I can buy the cheapest, but I'm going to have to commit to that as when my flight is. And I've gotten really used the past couple of years to being like, I'll just buy the cheapest flight that day, and then I'll just switch to whatever flight is going to that same destination. But it's all going away for all of them. So you might as well pick.
Okay.
And we won't talk about how for regional flights, Charlie does have another option, but he's not ready for it.
What?
Dante is a pilot, and Dante could fly us to.
Are we talking like a little like
Cessna?
Little Cessna?
Yeah.
As long as you're not talking helicopter, I'd rather get in a Cessna than any helicopter.
Yeah, me too. I'm starting to get close to being ready to go up with him. It's not an issue of trust. Like if there's some person I would trust flying a plane, it would be Dante.
It's not that I don't trust Dante. I trust the plane that I would suggest we go on based off of the price. It would be so expensive to do that.
Right.
That I would be like, let's get a cheaper plane, and that's the plane that's going to have like an engine issue.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be the one they're like, it should be okay, especially now that the FAA is gone.
Although you know how like so many farms have their own little runways for like crop dusting.
Yeah.
You guys could do an amazing tour called like Farm to Stage, and you're only in the Cessna landing in like farm runways, and then you do the show there.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So
that's a great idea. Although definitely going to go the way of,
So Charlie's body
Delta flight.
Charlie's body double lands in the plane, goes into the green room where the real Charlie's waiting. He came in on a Delta flight.
Yeah, it's almost like a prestige situation. You got to kill the old one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bill, what makes you say Cripes? What's grinding your gears these days?
Probably just life in general. Like, I'm a bit of a late bloomer, so I was telling Charlie yesterday. I'm at a place in my life where I think our group of friends were probably at 30.
Yeah.
In what regard?
I'm just a late bloomer. Always have been. Like in terms of life events, I think just some arrested development issues and
like you still have TiVo?
No, I still have VHS.
Sure, but that's an amazing collection.
But I definitely am just one of those dudes who's like a behind your group of friends. And so I feel like I'm starting to I'm in a place right now where I'm trying to make some things happen, and I often find myself saying Cripes.
Well, it's impressive because you've I don't know if you want to bring this up on the pod. We can cut it out if you don't, but you've dropped quite a bit.
Oh, the weight, yeah. I'm dropping some weight. Feels good, but I'm trying to get my finances in order, get my, just try and like get my shit together, take care of my body. Like I'm gonna be.
I didn't even have a credit card till I was 40.
Really?
That's impressive.
So I'm late blooming.
I defaulted on a credit card when I was 22.
But you got that free towel.
I also got a lot of
They would always be like, sign up for this credit card. You get a t-shirt, you get a towel. Like they would like just prey on kids at like college campuses.
Just sending them to you in
Discover
the mail.
No, you get it right there when you signed up for that Visa or whatever it was.
I got a Discover card with a $2,000 limit. Got it in the mail, activated it.
22.
Went to Guitar Center.
Yeah.
Bought a guitar I didn't need. Maxed it out. Never made a payment on it. And for about a year, I would get probably 6 phone calls a day from debt collectors. And I just rolled with it. I would just fuck with them all day. I would just make up a different character every time. And I didn't care. It's like, well, I'm ruining my financial future already, but.
Wait, hang on a second. It would be like, let's pretend I'm the debt collector. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Mr. Doucette?
Hello.
I'm. Is this William Doucette?
He's dead.
Oh no! What happened to him?
He died in a shipwreck.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
No, you know what they said when I said he was dead?
What?
They said, I'm so sorry. Do you know who's handling his finances?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they pivot.
Yeah.
They so like if you die with credit card debt, that goes to like your family.
Well, at least your spouse.
Really? But
Yeah.
what if you no spouse? What if
They
you
would
no
go
spouse
to.
it?
They could pursue your estate
No estate, and then they're done.
eventually. Yeah, they're
At the
Okay.
time, my estate was some Star
George
Wars action
Foreman
figures. Yeah, had a George Foreman grill.
Wait, did you pay it off eventually?
Nope. Defaulted on it. Never paid it. I didn't even know.
It's got to be gone now.
Oh yeah, it's gone. Like my credit score is actually not bad right now.
Not
But-
to flex.
But I didn't. Here's the thing: they don't teach kids the shit they need to know in school. We'll do that another time. But like, didn't know what a
Agreed.
fucking credit card score was
Agreed.
until I was getting phone calls about it.
Yeah, I had no idea until I took out a credit card at Macy's to try or not Macy's, Cole or Nordstrom Rack, some big
Mhm.
box thing when I first got out of school, and they're like, you take a credit card out, you can get 20% off. I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, did the whole thing to apply for it. They're like, sorry, you got declined. And then I realized that was a knock on my credit score because
Mhm.
they tried to get it and I got declined.
Yeah.
And then so I also had a credit card, my first credit card. And I was telling my buddy, I was like, yeah, it's great. I just pay like, $50 a month and I can just get, he's like, you're just paying the interest.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's just what they charge me. He's like, that's the interest. I was like,
Minimum payment.
no idea
Right.
what interest
None.
was,
Mhm.
nothing. I was an idiot.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
but there's not. They don't teach you the stuff, the life skills that are important. They teach you like,
The
long
capitals.
division.
Yeah.
Great if I'm going to go work for Elon Musk or something, but like I'm going to make fart jokes.
We all had teachers that were like, good luck someday trying to have a computer in your pocket. You're going to need to know this.
Mhm.
I
And
do
then
think
turns out.
yeah,
And
we
cursive.
got it.
Yeah.
Cursive.
I do think though the brain work that you do in order to do long division is probably good for other things.
100%.
That's why now kids don't even really read a whole lot. You ever talk to a kid these days? Like what they're learning in school? It's like nothing, dude.
Well, I think a lot they don't even have lockers
Yeah, they don't have
because everything's
stuff.
digital. Like, what do you need?
They don't know cursive.
Oh yeah,
You show
I still write in cursive.
yeah.
How do you put a nerd in his place without a locker?
That's true.
Where am I
That's a good
stuffing this
question.
kid?
Wait, they have 0 lockers at all? What
I
if they
think
have
a
a
lot of
jacket?
schools have gotten rid of lockers.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They don't do notebooks either.
Well, what for?
Well, to
No,
doodle.
I agree with you. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, I think though you're right in terms of a lot of schooling is learning how to learn.
Yeah.
Like learning how to educate yourself. Do you need to figure this out? Where can you go to do that? That's what citing your sources is. It's not about actually writing it out the way a citation is supposed to be. It's that you went and found the answer somewhere and then can prove it.
That's why I worry about with
Critical
like,
thought.
with like the Chat GPT when like they sort of encourage it in schools like to use sort of the robots to like just do it to give you first draft, but that like mental ability to like get to your first draft or
Mhm.
whatever, like that's like That's super important because that's like your own original thought. If we just dictate that all to ChatGPT, literally the philosophy of the next generation is just going to be the robot's philosophy, you know? And it's like, so there's
The Robot's Philosophy. That's a good book title.
It's probably already
really
published. As soon as I said that, you know, somebody probably just said, write the book, Robot's Philosophy, and it's there, you know, and like
put an
2
Oprah
minutes.
sticker on it.
Yeah, that's kind of my cripes, man. But everybody knows that I'm a little weary of the bots.
I don't think that cripe needs to go away since it's constantly evolving. Your cripes might as well too.
Yeah, write your first draft. That's all I'm saying.
Charlie's biggest fear every day is a man coming up to him and going, I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. Charlie's worried about the robots.
For sure.
Was that a Matrix reference?
Terminator.
Oh, that was your
Bill
Arnold
Paxton.
impression.
That's right. Puts the cigar out.
Bill Paxton, the only actor to be killed by a Terminator, an alien,
Predator.
and a predator.
Yeah, you're right.
Have you guys watched Hook
And a
recently?
tornado. No, he didn't get
I love Hook.
I love Hook
I
too.
probably watched it last summer, to be honest.
Did we talk about this on the last podcast?
How you said that I'm a person who needs his mommy very badly. And I was like, how dare you?
Did I say that?
No, that's just what
Oh,
the
that's
girl-
a Hook
that's what
line.
the
I
girl
know.
says.
It's like that'd be a great thing
Before
to say.
you were born, your parents used to stay up all night looking into each other's eyes, drinking wine, having a good time, and loving each other. Then you came along, and it's why, me.
Smee, me, smee.
What
Get
about
the
Smee?
gun,
What about
smee.
Smee? Get the gun, Smee. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Stop me, Smee. Don't you dare stop me, Smee. Stop me. What is wrong with you, Smee?
You know, dude, that is
Hoskins?
so good.
Bob
Oh my
Hoskins.
God.
Before you were born, your parents. I loved that speech. Why? Me.
Smee, smee,
Yeah.
smee.
Stop me,
Welcome
Smee.
back, Panda Man.
Or remember when they go, run home, Jack.
Run home, Jack.
No.
Oh, no, they had it wrong. Oh,
Yeah, they
yeah.
switched
Run
it.
home.
Yeah.
No, you got it all wrong. It's
And
home.
your children's children.
Also, I love sometimes when somebody was like, hey, I'm coming over. What do you need, right? And sometimes I'll do the Hook line, but I always think it is when he goes, "What do you want, old man?" And he goes, "Just you."
Just you.
with the underbite.
Yeah. But I'll
You
like
did the
send the
underbite.
GIF. So somebody's like, "Hey, man, what do I need to bring to come over to your place?" And I just send back the GIF. Just you.
Dude.
What would the world be like without Captain?
So I got to know Dante Bosco, who plays Rufio.
Really?
Yeah, phenomenal guy, buddy of mine. Awesome.
Dude, this is the biggest name drop you could do for me right now.
Rufio?
Rufio.
Looky, I got hooky.
Oh,
What a cool
yeah.
line.
You
But-
can fly. I mean, how many times? This is our generation. How many times have you said like, "You're in there. I see you, Pete"? I think I pitched you a tag when we were at Zany's that had something like
I
that.
did that in a joke where I was talking about like getting Botox and filler and whatnot,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
just going like, "There you are,
Yeah,
Peter."
yeah.
But that's one of my favorite. Well, another thing is like, first of all, I want to talk about the Rufio thing, but
Do anything you
just
want.
because it's on my like when Tink takes out her knife and goes into Hook's nose and just
Mhm.
goes,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah.
one of my favorite things. So, what's Rufio like in real
Dante's
life?
an awesome guy.
Dante, yeah.
Great guy. Had a little bit of a resurgence on Entourage. Still does a lot of like voice work. His whole family is super cool. Yeah, Dante Bosco. Shout out Dante. If I ever talk to him again, I'd be like, "You got to tell me when you're in Milwaukee. You should do my buddy's podcast."
Yeah, that's awesome.
He's
man.
just
I'd love
as
to have him
advertised,
on.
just an awesome. Like hanging out with him, I'm like, I'm fucking hanging out with Rufio.
What was he doing on Entourage?
He had a storyline, I think, with Turtle where he was like selling shoes, or he was a graffiti artist or something like that. He had like a few story like episode arc on Entourage.
And it had nothing to do with Rufio?
No. Yeah, they crossed the line. They crossed the streams.
This is a sketch I've had in my little sketch ideas for a long time, but it's basically like watching Hook then versus now. So like as a kid, you're always like, Rufio,
Yeah.
Rufio. And then like, or like, oh, Tink's there. You know, you're just excited about it and everything. Then you watch as an adult and you're like, is Tink trying to hook up with Pan?
Oh, big
you know?
time. Yes.
And
Peter
then-
Banning.
Yeah. And also the way Peter's origin story, wait, so his thing just blew away? You know, his little stroller just blew away.
I know.
That's the origin story
I
of it.
know.
You couldn't think of anything better.
Well, the movie
is he
was
trying
panned.
to hook up with his grandma? No,
Yeah, because there's that scene where he's like Moira, where he like whispers.
Oh,
he's trying to say
right.
more, like I want to kiss you more or whatever, and he ends up saying Moira, his wife's name,
Well-
and that like snaps him out of it.
I believe that it's not a blood relation because he was an orphan. So I think
That's true.
But when you're on a plane and you're in the middle seat, how often do you look at the guy you don't know in the window seat and go, "You're afraid you're going to be sucked out"?
And then it happened was it 2 years ago?
and then slam a baseball into the window. Stop that.
Yeah. Great movie.
Yeah, it is a great movie.
Shit, I'm gonna watch that. Tonight.
But
Just
Joe. It's crazy because like if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score on it,
the movie was like no pun intended, as I said, but it was panned.
it was panned.
Yeah.
But not by kids, man.
No,
And it's just like,
oh my god, when they're fake eating the food.
oh, the best.
And then yes,
you gotta
That
wipe it
food
off.
looks
You. I
good.
just
Yeah,
threw
yeah.
it at you. Yeah. God, it's so good.
you too lewd crew dude a big bad suit, whatever he says.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, this is good. This is real good. I'm glad.
Uh,
Nerding out on Pan. Well, this was great, guys.
I loved it. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me, buddy.
Thanks for both of you coming on.
Always.
This was fun.
Yeah, this was great.
We'll do it again.
Good to hang, man.
I'm glad I found out about it. Glad I was able to come.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Next time I'll give you more of a heads up. I'll let you know when plans get official.
Like I'm not playing a song with the Goo Goo Dolls tomorrow night or anything, right?
Oh, you might be.
Okay, I'll practice.
Okay. Good deal. Doing a Google Dolls thing.
Yeah.
Well, they're playing Christian Yelich's charity auction. It's pretty good.
I want to wake up where you are.
Banger.
I won't say
Thing at all.
Why don't you?
We'll end on that.
slide?
Yeah, I'll do anything you ever dreamed to be complete. Little pieces of a nothing that's fun.
I would join you because I know the lyrics, but I just don't have the same. I don't want to ruin your singing. It's
That's okay.
beautiful.
That's all right.
Well, thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
dude.
you.
So roll out the barrel and get the band brewing. Life's got you down, just keep her moving. It's on Wisconsin, the Badgers say it's the old Wisconsin Jubilee.
You know, sometimes when you're ice fishing, you put your foot in the walleye hole and go ass over tea kettle and you think you're done. No, you gotta keep her moving.